Hello again. I'm Joe Connolly with my colleague Neil Caruso, welcoming you to the 300th Small Business Spotlight video, which has been sponsored all of this time by Dime Community Bank. And thank you, Dime Community Bank, for sponsoring every one of these 300 well-deserved spotlights on New York area business owners. And that's the purpose of these, to celebrate business owners and tell you what solutions they are finding and what opportunities they are seeing. And I've gotten to know a lot of the executives and managers of Dime Community Bank over the last 5 or 6 years. And I can tell you that they live and breathe and, most importantly, understand business owners and small and mid-sized businesses. And if you go in and talk with them, even if you're just starting to think about starting your own business, you will enjoy it and they will give you help and ideas. So, in the spirit of the season, we go to John Darien of Darien Interiors and Artisans and Design on the Lower East Side. And he, at this time of year, turns his 4 shops into, or at least the 3 in Manhattan, into all holiday businesses. John, what gave you the idea to go with the holidays starting early in October?
I just became sort of obsessed with these hand-blown ornaments that I've been finding when I go to these shows in Germany. And I just kept buying more and more because they were amazing. And then the shop just got so overcrowded that last year I thought, oh, maybe I'll put it in the middle shop because it's the Art Star Furniture showroom, so it's less busy during the holidays. And then it was kind of a great thing because now people can shop in the other shops smoothly and easily. In the middle store is just Christmas, so it's been more fun to sort of decorate the whole thing as like one big holiday magical wonderland, I guess.
You have been featured in the New York Times, Vanity Fair, Vogue. I guess that's a tribute to your skills. But how did that happen? How did this following grow, John?
I don't know. People always ask me how how I'm a creative person too, and I don't know because I don't come from a creative background. Just happened to make things as a child, and I kept making things. And then one day I just accidentally sold something, and then I thought, oh, I could sell those things. And it's been organic. I moved to New York from Cambridge in '92. I opened a store in '95, but I really just took that space because I needed a bigger studio to produce my decoupage, which is what I'm more known for. And then that led to taking the space next door and then another space next door, and it's all been sort of organic. I wish I was a real business person and I could plot this stuff, but I didn't. But it's
They say that many entrepreneurs are born, not made. It sounds like maybe you were born an entrepreneur and just didn't realize it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. What is decoupage, layman's short answer?
You're gluing paper images under glass, making like a collage under a plate or a paperweight or lamp, things like that. It sort of requires cutting and gluing of paper.
And some of these are antique papers, I understand.
All of the things that I use are 18th and 19th century, but I reprint them because some of the originals are like $3,000, and I couldn't really glue that on a plate because that wouldn't be nice to the image or the plate.
How is the holiday 2023 business going so far? What's selling well? What are you noticing? What are you hearing?
It's going really well. I've been obsessed with mushrooms and foraging, and then there's a few people that make the ornaments in Poland, and I just started getting more and more mushrooms, and they started producing more and more mushroom designs for me. So I would say mushrooms just because I liked them, and there's something amazing about them because there's so many varieties. They just look great on a tree. I don't know.
But you have some very creative, unusual holiday ornaments to hang on a tree, though, too, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I mean, there's
what new trends? What's selling among those?
There's like a caviar ornament and a champagne ornament and a oyster and a half shell ornament. Those are very celebratory. Those have been very popular. And we have these. There's 12 themed trees. We have a scary tree, a garden tree, a shell tree, classics, birds, animals, dinosaurs, pickles, fruits and vegetables, tree toppers. So in those categories, there are definitely favorites in all of those. Like, the birds are very popular in general. The food is really funny. Like, one of my favorite was like a blown glass plastic water bottle. So it looked like a miniature plastic water bottle, but it was blown glass and then hand painted. So it was like all of the attention for something that you just want to throw away, but as an ornament was just too funny. I had to get those. So who knows? They keep coming up with these great things, and I just keep saying that looks great. I'll get that.
Neil.
John, what is the process for coming up with all these ideas? Because I see all these offerings on your website. I'm like, this guy must just wake up in the morning with 10 ideas a day. What is the process?
Well, like I said, it all started because I made things myself, and I still make things, but then I'm attracted to handmade things. I also like fake things and funny things. We have a candle company that makes like candles that look like a piece of cheese or meat or a cake, and those are very popular and funny. I like to mix the humor in there. And then for me personally, yeah, I am constantly writing things down and making notes and changing things around. Like, I got home last night after a party and I just moved my apartment around. Like, I'm driven to do these weird things. It's nonstop.
Usually when I get home from a party, I'm going to bed. You're moving furniture around. That's great. So when you have ideas, like, just for an example, how many ideas a month are going to make it onto the website? How many ideas actually make it into a product?
Well, in my own work, I do 2 collections of decoupage a year, so I'm constantly looking for imagery to use. So that's something I think about more than most things. And then the other things are things that I just find, or someone might email me every once in a while. Like, we'll get a lot of emails from people that want to sell us stuff, and then every once in a while, somebody will be like, it'd be something that I really click with. A woman named Lydia, who does paper flowers, and she just emailed me one day and said, I make these flowers. Do we like them? I was like, yes. And then it became like match made in heaven. We just exploded. She did 2 books since then. It's just been a fun thing. I just like supporting. There's a woman that makes paper mache planets, and we did the whole solar system in the shop. It was really fun.
That's awesome. And one more question that I have, because I was fascinated by this, and in fact, I'm pulling up your website here because I see all these different categories that you have that go beyond just the holidays. You have for the pet purveyor, for the creative visionary, for the hopeless romantic. How do you curate products for these specific categories?
Just to have a really good team, and we just sort of brainstorm a lot. We have meetings every Wednesday, and we think about like, how else can we. The internet's new to me. I'm a little bit older, and so it's not that natural. But the more and more we talk about it, the more and more we think about things. Because how do you get this store experience, which is what I'm used to, online? So we just want to make people see all the things that we have and share with them, and hope for the best.
What's been the secret to doing that? What is the answer to the question that you just asked, as far as you know so far?
The answer to the question of
how to translate the in-store experience to the Instagram or internet.
Well, when pre-COVID, our site was up, but we didn't have a lot on it because we never had the time, and then we suddenly had all this time, so we just spent a lot of time loading it up with more interesting, one-of-a-kind things that I find, because I go to France a couple of times a year, and I shop in the south of France at these big antique fairs, so I'm always looking for things to inspire me and to sell in the shops. Like, I think someday I saw somebody with like somebody's picks, like some decorator had and I was like, maybe we could do that even though we have a whole web of things, maybe if we did something like John's choices, it might be interesting and funny. So we did that, or offering, saying to people, because we're really kind of hands off in the store. Like, everybody says hello and goodbye to everybody, lets them know there's more stores, but we never let the people sort of breathe. But in the stores, but online, I feel like we kind of have to show a little bit more, or like those categories, I think, help a little bit, get people to think about other things, I guess.
Right. That's a great point. There's a business owner we spoke to who's done very well in his website, and you might get some ideas from him and his categories. I think the website is uncommongoods.com,
Yes.
and he's here in Manhattan as well. And he has done very well for a great guy for a number of years, starting early in the internet. And have you noticed any changes in what sells holiday season to holiday season, or is it pretty
It's
constant?
pretty. We have a lot of classic things in the store, so it's pretty for people to buy pottery that we sell from France. So they're sort of getting their tureens and plates and things. So it's just sort of like your basic stuff that's a little bit more authentic, maybe, or handmade, or made in other countries, maybe not
How do
China.
you get so much foot traffic in the store? Is it repeat customers or do you advertise?
We don't advertise. It's definitely destination. We've never really been in a neighborhood that. I mean, the neighborhood's definitely changed a lot over the years, but we have a really good customer base, like a customer that really likes pretty and well made and authentic things. So I feel like it's sort of just like me. I feel like I like those things, and we have it in the store, and then people sort of believe in those things too, and then they want to come in the store and see them. So, which it's great. It's just I feel like I've never been driven by money, and this is a joke I have with friends because I'm always like, I just like want to share something. Um, sometimes I'm like, that's too expensive, but then I'm like, but it's so nice, and then we'll get in the store, and then someone will buy it, and I was like, okay, I guess that's okay. Sometimes I look out for people too when I'm purchasing. Like I don't want to, but if it's handmade, so even our own work, it's like our prices have to go up because it's a lot of labor involved in what we make. It's kind of hard to explain to people. So we had to raise our prices too because it was just our margins were low.
Has that affected sales? Have you lost any sales with the higher prices?
I
No,
haven't. No.
no, that's great. And you have that customer base, which means repeat customers, which is very good. And the rest of the year, your store or stores are furniture showrooms, I understand. Is that correct?
The original store sells the things that I make and pottery and an assortment of house goods, and then the middle shop is a furniture line that I do with a company called Cisco Brothers. It's all handmade in North Carolina, and then the other shop we have bedding, textiles, antiques, a lot of textiles.
Wow.
And Merriam-Webster said the other day that the word of the year is authenticity.
Oh.
And I think that's your secret to sales. That's in a way that you described it, just your authentic self, and you found a market. That's great work if you can get it, John.
Yeah, thanks.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Well, there we go. 300 small business spotlights are in the can. And, Neil, every single one of these business owners has been interesting and thoughtful and just great, all in their own different ways.
They have, Joe. I mean, that's my biggest takeaway. Looking back, I mean, I came in, I think about episode 20 to begin editing. I began working with you 6 years ago. And this series really evolved over that time. If you think about it, they started off as, just for our anniversary year, 50th anniversary of WCBS 880. And Dime Community Bank loved the stories. They sponsored us from the beginning. And a big thank you to them, as you mentioned at the top. And then, Joe, for me, it's getting to know these business owners. I feel like we never ran out of stories,
No.
and there's never a shortage of businesses that are doing good in our communities. You meet these people, and they're always fascinating. We always have stories to tell.
They're
That's my
elevating.
biggest takeaway.
They're elevating. They're to help people. There is no video series online anywhere that I know of that's anything like this. They're fairly short. They're concise, but I don't want to use the word educational, but they're inspirational. And the business owners are happy to tell their stories. They love talking about the business and hearing other people talk about their business. And I was looking the other day, I went down the headlines on some of them over just the past couple of years, and they were all how to do this, how to do that, how to increase sales, how to manage smarter, how to control costs, how to. And here's why you should do this. Here's why not. Here's the newest trend. Here's the newest growth area. And there truly is nothing like these anywhere. So thank you, Dime Bank, as we go into the holidays. And I also want to say thank you to Neil. Thank you to Tim Sheld, Ben Maverick, Chris Olivero, Mark Buzinski, Keisha Glenn Hutton, and everybody who has helped to run these business spotlights and keep them going. Thanks, everybody.